Why these kinds of shoes? I've been asked this question many times on my channel, and often people have also made fun of them. I've been running for over 30 years and have been through all sorts of trends. And this is based on my experience. There is no such thing as the perfect shoe, but these kinds of shoes really do have an important function, especially if you run a lot or weigh a little too much. I hope it's okay that I'm just using these 2 clips that explain why they made Vomero Premium. In the description, I have a link to the full video. I highly recommend you go and check them out if you haven't already.
Premium is a new shoe developed with athletes like Faith Pigan and Connor Mans. They described it as running on an anti-gravity treadmill, really preventing injuries and being a shoe that helps them to log more distance.
A lot of the top Nike Pro athletes utilize an anti-gravity treadmill to raise their mileage each week, and Nike designers went back to the drawing board to figure out how they could get the benefits of an anti-gravity treadmill into a piece of footwear, and what they came up with was the Vomero Premium.
I don't have any anti-gravity treadmills available, so luckily you can get these kinds of shoes. But before these kinds of shoes, I trained many hours every week in a large sand pit, which is close to where I live, plus on the beach. Back then, I also ran back and forth in a small swimming pool, and I did this simply to avoid injuries. At some point, I'll make a video about how I trained when I trained for the double Ironman, because at that time, these shoes were not available. So it required more discipline and proper training to avoid injuries. I wouldn't have run so many kilometers last week if I hadn't run on the beach and in soft sand. Plus, many of the kilometers were in these kinds of shoes. But in terms of training, I would think it was the equivalent of running about 300 to 350 kilometers on the road. I must also say I ran very slowly and took many breaks, but the surface in some places was almost impossible to run through.